Hello. This is my first video back since I changed the name from Mama Tattoo Howeries to LoudLilDucky because what we do over here is we get loud. We speak up. We speak truth. We ask questions. We look at facts. And sometimes we get a little loud expressing our opinions. But that's okay. So, welcome to anybody new, to all my returning followers. Thank you for coming back. So, today's video is going to be geared around Bot Sentinel and him wanting basically YouTube to censor people, just like he's wanting people on Twitter censored. And, if you censor people, it just means alternative viewpoints aren't allowed. So, Chris Bouzy has a viewpoint, and you have a different one. You need to go in his eyes. This man does not believe in free speech. He does not believe in anything that doesn't fit his narrative. He wants to live in an echo chamber. And that is not what America is about. And some of these platforms are really taking away our First Amendment. So let's jump in and we're going to go over some of these things. I want to hit freedom of speech versus hate crime because so many people say, oh, if you hurt my feelings, that's a hate crime. And so I want to see what the comparison is and let you know too, so we can all be informed together. Freedom of speech is protected by our Constitution. Anyone has the right to express their likes, dislikes, and opinions, no matter how offensive it may be to others. Say what you want, when you want, how you want. This freedom of expression, however, can cause some confusion as to where free speech ends and a hate crime begins. Although the line may appear to be blurred, ultimately, offensive or hateful speech is still just speech and is protected. However, a hate crime is a criminal act that is motivated in whole or substantial part by the perceived identity, I think is supposed to be, of the victim. For example, a person who calls another person an insulting name. It is just a name and not a crime. Although you may feel the name is hateful and offensive, it is considered freedom of speech. However, if someone calls a person a hateful name because of their race alone, and then assaults them, it becomes a hate crime. Okay. What is hate speech? It is a communication that carries no meaning other than the expression of hatred. It covers all forms of expression which spread, incite, promote, or justify hatred. So you don't spread it, do not speak it, and do not promote it or condone it, basically. Hate speech expresses hate or encourages violence towards a person or group based on something such as race, religion, or gender, etc. It is also known as abusive or threatening speech. Okay, so you can't go out there saying, "Oh, I hate all the dark-skinned people. Oh, the dark-skinned people should be offed." You can't say that all Muslims are bad and the Muslims need to not exist. You also cannot say that, everybody needs to get rid of all these females, males. They need to get rid of people that were born one gender and have transitioned to another gender. You also cannot do hate speech based on sexuality. So you cannot beat, threaten, any of that stuff of somebody who is considered gay and part of the LGBTQ plus. So that is the hate speech part. All right, let's go into what is an opinion, because opinions and hate speech get mixed up so much, especially on the internet and with people like Chris Bouzy. So an opinion is a belief, impression, judgment, or prevailing view held by a person. You give your idea about a particular thing or topic, not based on facts. Opinion is always given politely without hurting anyone. So an opinion is not threatening. It is just you stating what you think once you feel. And by the First Amendment, you have that right. You have the right to think and feel how you want. But that doesn't mean that people that don't agree with your opinion are committing a hate crime, because they're not threatening or endangering your life by saying that they don't think you should be doing this and that they don't agree with that. It just doesn't work that way. Now let's get into Chris Bouzy's new tweet thread. And so he says, new thread. You asked Bot Sentinel to do something about hate speech, misogyny, anti-Semitism, and targeted harassment on YouTube. And we heard you. In a few months, when we launch Bot Sentinel v3.0, it will have a new YouTube section that will display channels and their ratings. So he's going to do what he's been doing with Twitter. And if you don't know what he's been doing with Twitter, I will link the video up here in the eyelet, but it is also on my channel. There's a few of them. You can go under the Bot Sentinel Chris Bouzy, even playlist, and you can find all of that out and look for yourself. So he wants trackers for YouTube now. So he's going to have them on Twitter and YouTube, because he wants these people gone, done, no means to communicate anything that Christopher Bouzy classifies as hate speech, anti-Semitism, misogyny, and targeted harassment. But interesting that they go after targeted harassment and they want all of the targeted harassment to go away, even if it isn't actually targeted. Because to target, you have to actually reach out to that person. You have to say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And then just bring it to their attention. But just merely getting online and making a video or making a tweet that states that you don't like somebody, that you think that they are a liar, or you think that they're this, that is your opinion and you have the right to have it. And who cares if anyone agrees? As long as that's what you believe, none of that other stuff matters. As long as you are not harming anybody. And harming somebody does not mean harming their feelings. Alright, so this is stuff that he has shown examples and how this is going to kind of be set up. So with Twitter, we have the percentage scale from 0 to 100, 0 being normal, 100 being problematic. That's how you're rated there. The percentage of what you are. Now, apparently on the YouTube one, he's going to give them letter ratings, like we're in school. So this warm audio that he found, he has given an A+. So this is going to be a normal, good account. It is not disruptive. It is not problematic. It just is a good, wholesome channel. And I would expect something called warm audio to be that. So they get an A+. All right, let's see the next one. Now we have Trevor Colt. Now, Trevor Colt has been kicked off of YouTube. They got him kicked off already. And Trevor has been in the military. He is a big activist for military things and helping veterans and mental health. He donates a lot of money from his channel to doing that and helping those people. So when he got shut down, it shut down his means to help provide money and funding for these organizations that help people. Why did he get shut down? Because he has opinions about the royal family. So he needs to go. Because if you don't like somebody in the royal family, then you are problematic. And you need to be avoided, and you need not to exist on the internet. And probably doesn't think that he needs to exist anywhere, but definitely do not let people be exposed to somebody that has a bad opinion about the royal family. So he gets a D. So apparently he's got pluses. He might have some minuses, and then he's just got the normal letters. So he's a D. This one is a C. And this is according to Taz. And this one just talks about the royal family. They're not pro the royal family, but I guess they're not the worst of the worst. So they're kind of just in the middle. All right. Now this one is another A+ rating, which I'm like, what? Can we get some B's or some just a flat A? Let's see. Give us examples of all the letters. Like, how high are your letters? But Nick Jr. is an A+, not a problematic or anything like that channel. Although there has been some stuff that has come out of Nickelodeon and Nick Jr. And I know Paw Patrol is part of that, where there's been some stuff that's been, that a lot of parents were in an uproar about. Uh, I don't know if Peppa Pig's a part of Nick Jr., but there's some issues with Peppa Pig, uh, as well. And so, it's interesting that this one is an A, which it should be, because things for kids should not have a bunch of disruptive and problematic stuff, although sometimes they do. Then we have Colt Caparoon, and this person has an A. It's not an A plus, not any of that. And it looks like he does mixes. So he works with like a soundboard and music and stuff. Okay. Oh, he's a Billboard Top 40 mix engineer. So maybe go check out his channel. He probably has some really cool stuff on there. Now to the meat and potatoes. The most hated man on YouTube by any Amber Heard people or Chris Bouzy. And the reason why is because that umbrella guy makes videos that call out Amber Heard. And they're like, oh, that's all he does. Well, he's not trying to always do that. Yes, he has done a lot on this case because there's stuff coming out all the time. But you can even see here that he has talked about Elon Musk. Yes, it involves Amber. Um, it also talks about James Franco, Rekieta Law being banned, which is a huge part of this freedom of speech stuff that's going on and what Rekieta Law. And if you don't know who he is, go over, watch him, support him on Rumble, go to his locals, because although his words and how he comes off may not be to your liking, but if you like somebody that is going to tell jokes, you're gonna laugh, talks about the law and other interesting stuff, and fights for freedom of speech. Some people don't like him. Some people don't like the way he phrases things and does things, and that he's controversial. I think he's awesome. But if you don't like bluntness and things like that, he might not be the one. But he is awesome, and he is fighting for our rights for freedom of speech because everybody is trying to take him away. Everybody wants to censor. He talks about Angelina Jolie and the Brad Pitt. He's done a video on a Marilyn Manson case. So while majority of his content is around Amber Heard, it isn't all of it. And then as soon as all this like appeal stuff and everything with Amber Heard is done and she's not out there doing a bunch of stuff, he's gonna get to move on. But he is the most informative on anything that happens with her. But let's see, Christopher Bouzy, he gives him an F, which is what I've seen is the worst rating that he's given anybody. It says, by displaying problematic channels, they will be easier to report, and advertisers will know which channels to avoid. Our browser extensions and apps will also display the new YouTube ratings. We believe this will be a significant step towards tackling the YouTube problem. What is the YouTube problem? The fact that people get to speak their mind and say what they want? And why are you making it easier to report? Trying to create a way for people to report or mass flag or any of these just because they have a problematic rating, that's against terms of service. That is targeted harassment. And advertisers. You don't know what advertisers want. Maybe an advertiser does want somebody that's just bold and opinionated and loud about things. If not, they can go find somebody else. But you're messing with their pockets. You're messing with their money. And this causes damages, which can go into defamation. Stop affecting people's real life because you don't like an opinion. Everybody does not have to agree. Continues on with, we want to launch Bot Sentinel v3.0 by the end of December or early January, and we are asking everyone who uses Bot Sentinel to help make it a reality. Our tools are 100% free and crowdfunded by Bot Sentinel community, so we hope you guys will pitch in. And he's got his link there for donor box where you can, he fundraises everything. And it's, to help people identify inauthentic accounts and toxic trolls. That's great that you have supporters that'll pay for it. The Sussex Squad has paid for a lot because they go after anti-Meghan Markle people. Then there's others who go after anti-Amber Heard people. So this is what he wants to do. And he supposedly has this, tells people like he's like the best of the best, and oh, all these people listen to me and I'm the expert to go to. But you have to crowdsource your company and then you shame other people for crowdsourcing things. It's very hypocritical, Chris. Very hypocritical. Go over some of our freedoms. We have freedom of religion and from religion, which just means you have freedom from religion and I have freedom from religion. We can all coexist. Whether you are atheist, Jewish, Christian, any of that stuff, Buddhist, we can all exist together. We don't have to have the same beliefs. We can just respect that, I don't believe in that, but you know what? If that's your thing, you do you. That is all okay. We also have freedom of expression, which is the arts, basically. Writing, painting, being online and making videos, graffiti. It is a freedom of expression. Now you can go graffiti, but not vandalize. So graffiti your own stuff and things like that, but don't go vandalize because that actually is a crime. But it's art. have poetry, stories. Anybody with a microphone to a paintbrush to a laptop. Imitation, like dance. Some is sports. Be a mime, a comedian, actor, actress. All these things is freedom of expression, and we all have the right to do them. This is my page that I kind of have quotes and views and misconceptions that people like to think. And so this little cartoon is, this guy is the campus free speech, and you've got the liberal thought police that no, we are not going to support free speech. And then we have the see no opposing views, hear no opposing views, speak of no opposing views, see no, hear no, speak no. And that's exactly what they want to do. They want to live in an echo chamber. And they don't want anybody around who says something other than what they want. Free speech also does not mean your opinions are protected from criticism, especially on the internet. If you say something, somebody else has the right to give their opinion on that. They can be like, oh no, I don't, oh, you support that? You like that? How could you support that? That is just ridiculous. I don't like people that do that. That's their right. They don't have to like you. They don't have to like your opinions. They don't have to agree. But you're not protected from it. People can criticize as long as they are not threatening or violent. And then we have a quote here from Voltaire. I do not agree with what you have to say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it. And this is what Nick Rekieta and a bunch of LawTube people have views on. That everybody who hates on them and wants these people like Bouzy and some other people want Rekieta and that umbrella guy all kicked off because they don't agree with what you say. They want you gone. Whereas the ones that are sitting there fighting for your right to freedom of speech and their right of freedom of speech, they will tell you they don't want their trolls or their haters or anybody to be canceled. They can say what they want to say. It doesn't mean anything. And so they don't like what they have to say. They don't like those people at all that are doing this stuff. But they don't want them removed because everybody has the right to say what they want. Colin Powell states that free speech is intended to protect the controversial and even the outrageous word and not just comfortable platitudes, too mundane to need protection. Truth is the new hate speech. Do not be spitting facts out because you will be said that you're a bigot, you're racist, you're misogynist because you're speaking truth. And truth knocks hate speech out of the water every time. You're speaking facts. It is not hate. It also says we have to uphold free press and freedom of speech because in the end, lies and misinformation are no match for the truth. People can lie, give information, they could sit there and try to spread all these things, whether they're vicious or not very harmful. but the truth speaks for itself. And one of the most important things is free speech is meant to protect unpopular speech. Popular speech, by definition, needs no protection because nobody's complaining about speech that you agree with. You need to protect the ones you don't agree with. Because one day, somebody's not going to agree with you. And you're not going to want to be canceled. You're going to be screaming, oh, I have the right. But you have no problem exercising the right to cancel somebody, try to cancel somebody. Yeah, hypocritical. But that's usually how these people see things. We have freedom of press, freedom of the news, freedom of the media. So CNN, Fox, CBS, all of those places in the mainstream media on TV, they have their right. As long as it's not lies, as long as it's not targeted harassment or anything to do with violence and threatening people. You can say what you want to say, and you are protected. Free press. Anything that gets put in magazines or articles online, spoken at a press conference, it's protected. And news, whether it's a newspaper or a news report, they have protection of freedom of press, which goes with freedom of speech. If you're not hurting anybody, you're safe. You also have the right to assembly, which is a peaceful protest. It's a human right. You can protest peacefully. Now, don't go out there trying to create a riot to where it becomes dangerous or people become fearful of their life and things get out of control. That we don't have the right to. You don't have the right to vandalize things, hurt people, none of that. But you can stand with your signs and you can scream to the world that people, that they want something. Like when teachers and employers and things of companies go on strike, they're out there picketing with their signs saying, we want more money or something. Or back in the day, women have rights. Women should vote. People with race stuff. Stop racism. Stop Asian hate. Stop black hate. As long as they're just out there with signs saying that, they're good. But when things become dangerous, you are not protected then, because it becomes criminal. Article 19 is everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. This right includes freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek, receive, in part, information and ideas through any media, and regardless of frontiers. That is in the Declaration of Human Rights. Last, all individuals have freedom of speech. It is not just the domain of one person or one group. This means that the right is also accompanied by the responsibility of listening to and responding thoughtfully to the ideas and opinions of others. Freedom of speech is a two-way street. It is not the right to cause harm or injure to other people. It is not the right to incite violence. It is not the right to abuse, slander, misrepresent situations or other people. So don't be abusive. Don't sit there and say a bunch of things that are not true. Don't misrepresent situations. Don't say that this happened if that didn't happen. Goes in there with like defamation. It is not the right to spread dangerous disinformation. And it is not the right to break the law or commonly accepted rules. Those are the things that it does not give you the right to do. You have freedom of speech, but there are exemptions that can cut that freedom of speech off in a certain scenario. So avoid those things. And don't be afraid to state your opinion. You should be proud of your opinions. Own your beliefs. Because I bet you there are plenty of people out there that have the same beliefs as you. And I don't have to like those beliefs. I don't have to do any of that, but somebody does. Somebody does agree with you. And we all can exist. We can all be civil to one another. I don't know what happened to people with difference of opinions can be friends, acquaintances, co-workers, and it doesn't mean that you're just this horrible person. And the internet was supposed to be a place where we could come and express ourselves in that way. Because, well, we obviously can't go to work and be saying certain things. Like, we would probably get fired for it. But on the internet, we are supposed to be able to be free to who we are. And that's getting taken away. And I will fight for it. As well as you should be. So, that is our video for censorship with Bouzy and what he is trying to do, his supporters are trying to do, and so many others. And you should stand up for freedom of speech because we do not want to lose that. So I will see you in the next video. If you like this type of content, hit the like, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.